I got for selling me clothes, tuppence for selling me blanket. If ever I list for the soldier again, devil shall be me sergeant.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Another little tightwad sewing up venture. Here, it's for Martin, Outlander Bushcraft, the big fella. While at the Wilderness Gathering, what he bought is a water to go 50mm, sorry, half litre water bottle. Apologies. That's got a filter inside of it. He wants to use it. He drinks lots of water all the time at work and so forth, and wants to be able to get water. You know, it's going to be an everyday carry item for him anyway. So as it was at work, we discussed black's quite smart, if that makes sense, rather than your DPMs. I just took that off him because apart from that, the little top of the bottle protruding a little bit, that's exactly the size of the water bottle. So again, that's how I came by the size, and you will notice when it's in there, it's you know, tight as a virgin's fanny. We don't particularly want a water bottle that's hard to get in and out, especially when you just want to be rehydrating yourself all the time at work. It can become annoying. So there you'll see 5mm, 5mm either side, 5mm there, and you can see that's how tall it is, ladies and gents. So that's how I got the sizing for it, and that's all I needed. Didn't really need the water bottle. Over here I've allowed a seam to turn over the top. I'll reinforce that with a piece of 25mm webbing. You'll see what I mean going along. This is going to be the bottom, that will be the side, that will be the front, and that will be the side. And while I've done that, as you can see here, it's just my rough working out so I know what part's what. That's going to be the back, and that is the top and the actual flap of it as well. So this is the back, okay, I'll show you if that makes sense. That will be the back. I'll do it that way. The back, that's going to be the top that come over the water bottle, and that part will be the flap. And again, we have to sew obviously the Velcro on the front there first before we form it into a box shape, and obviously the belt loop on the back. And ladies and gents, so you can just sort of see how I've marked that out. Again, there's a square there, there's a square there. I will sew down that line. Okay, see that one there? I will sew down that line, and then in doing so, that will then turn it into a square pouch to attach the back to. Okay, anyway, I'll crack on. This is for a you can make this any size you want. You can put anything in you want in this pouch you want. I'm just doing this for Martin, the big fella, while I've got the black material out and the black cotton on the machine. I'll bang this out quickly for him. I know he wants to use it. And you could have this 6 inches wide, you know, whatever it's going to make up into either a square or a rectangle anyway. But the sizes here don't really matter much to you because you're just hopefully tuning in, so you can see how to make a reasonably simple, easy to do square boxed pouch, if that makes sense, ladies and gents. So I'll bring you back once I've done a bit of sewing up. Right, ladies and gents, I said a bit of 25mm webbing. This is a bit of the stiff Velcro, another hook and loop stuff. All I've done there, this is going to be the top of the water bottle, so I want this to be sort of quite firm and not to fold in itself, bearing in mind the material, although is proper military grade, I want it to actually stay open of its own accord, or form a shape of its own accord. So what I've done now, I've sewn that down now, brought it out to you just to show you. I will now sew that there. So inside of that fold over, which will be the top, there is a piece of stiffener, and at this point I just found a piece of Velcro that will do the job really well. Please note though, I've not gone right to the end. Just make sure I'm in there, and then because I'm going to be sewing down the edge, and it just doesn't need to be there and will cause problems going through the machine unless you've got one of them mega industrial ones. As you'll see, that's for the water bottle coming in and out. It's just going to give it some rigidity at the top. So that's a little tip for you. Right, ladies and gents, as I've done, you can see it here, that's the front. And see where I sewed that, just one piece of Velcro in there, the loop side, because it's quite stiff. You see now that makes that quite a stiff top to it. So there's a little tip for you. You can use a piece of webbing in there, you know, the normal strapping if you wanted to do so, but just allow for double the size when you're turning it over when you're marking the stuff out. So that's what I've done there. I've sewed it up and down 2 or 3 times. Become apparent later on why I wanted to do that. So again, while it was flat, I marked off the centre between there and sewed the Velcro on, because you can't do that later on. Now, do you remember when you saw the triangular bits? If you can look in there, that's how I saw it. Them 2 pieces, lines come down there, and literally I put it on the sewing machine and literally sew down there. So that's my true line, and then obviously stop and then sew back a little bit again, and that's where I'll cut that bit off. That bit's going to be surplus. Okay, this is how I form the square shape, and which is I find that people have the find it difficult to sort of get the hang of, literally. So there's the one where it's the original one, okay, and I've just sewed a reinforcing one behind that. And what I've done there, you see there, I'm going to cut that off, but I'm going to cut quite close to there, because literally I'm going to sew all the way round here. Okay, ladies and gents, so magic, if by magic, hopefully this will make sense now. I'll fire that out. You can see now, make sure I'm in. See the square that was on the front? And again, that can be on the back as well. There's my join up lines. And when I've sewn it diagonally along that diagonal line, we now have a pouch, the beginnings of a pouch. So what I'm now going to do is sew down there and up that line, just to give it some shape and form. Okay, and again, I'm only going to go to the top there, because that's going to be, that part there is going to be stiff enough. Okay, so I'm going to do that, bring you back, show what that looks like. But also I'm going to start doing some work on the back. Now if you imagine, that's going to be the back of the pouch. On here is where I'm going to need the belt loop before I do anything else. So there you go, ladies and gents. Hopefully, as you can see, that's how I've sewn that up, and that's how it's going to be, the box shape to it. All I've got to do is put a back on it and the flap. Right, here we come, ladies and gents. Here's the back of the pouch. Okay, that literally is going to be the back of the pouch. That's going to be the top of the pouch, and the rest of that's going to be the flap that goes over and secures with Velcro. So before you do anything on the outside, obviously you need to sew everything on before you put the pouch together. And as we can see here, and what I've done, that's the back. Make sure I'm in shot there. That's the back. So I've sewed that, and this is any time I've used a zigzag stitch, number 1 and number 1, the smallest one, gone over it once, cut the cotton, and then gone over it twice, because this is going to take most of the stress and the weight of half a litre of water. So I've made sure I've done that properly. Obviously then I will pull that over. Okay, that's be fine there, so it's not, the stress is on the top there of the webbing and not directly on the stitches. I'll pull that down, and literally here, hopefully we've got some decent light, I'm going to do one row of stitching and then another row of stitching. Okay, so if the first one fails, it'll be caught by the second one. And again, that can be on a normal trouser belt, but I happen to know Marty, the big fella, like me, needs a wide belt to keep his pants up and pull his belly in. So that's a 50mm gap there, ladies and gents. So that's the next thing I'm going to do, and that's all I need to do to the back before I sew the pouch together. What I will show you now is, see the rigid front? Remember, I sewed some Velcro in there, and you see how when I've sewed it down, how we get the actual pouch to it. So literally it will almost stand on its own. Again, it's a little bit bigger than I need it, but I'm going to lose a little bit off each edge as I sew it to the back. So there you go, ladies and gents, and all you see, you haven't seen me do it because it's just a normal stitch. Hold it together there, sew it down there, sew it up there, and again come down here, go up there, and then sew it along the front. So you literally just, from the flat piece of material, that's how you end up with your box pouch. And I'll see if I can just come out a little bit there. there's your box pouch. Okay, so I sewed up there, along there, and just a normal stitch, you know, pulling it together. I sewed down the chalk lines. Remember the chalk lines you saw? And there's a chalk line in there, and that's where I sewed it together. We can honestly see that that's the pouch now formed, and probably could stand up on its own. Oh, and here's Mrs. Boudiger come to see me. Oh, you want Daddy to open door? Or you tiddle on the floor? Oh, right, fair enough. Right, anyway, ladies and gents, I'm going to go up now and just sew that belt loop on, okay? Just wanted to show you. You sew it that way, and then you pull it over, okay? You can just sew it flat and flat, but then it just means the belt's always going to be, you know, right on the actual stitch as opposed to a piece of material. So that's the best way to do a belt loop. Right, ladies and gents, it's started to rain, which is excellent because I'm testing out that super lightweight carrying your pocket tent outside, and it's slushing down. So all I've done there is sewed that loop on there. So now you'll notice that line across there, that denotes the back of the belt and where the belt line will go. So it's got to be inside out, ladies and gents, and again inside out, okay, that's what you've got to do. I'll put that to that line, and I will sew down all the way down to there. I've left a little bit at the bottom, that's okay, because I accounted for that in my stitching. Once I've sewn, make sure I'm in shot, all the way down there, I will then stop the machine, cut the cotton, and sew along the bottom. And as you'll see, there's enough leeway around this. Yeah, so if you wanted this to be a 4-inch pouch, you'd do it sort of 5.5 inches, and it'll just give you that much, you know, to allow for your seam. And then once I've done that and it's come to there, I will then match that up. So I'm just going to go sew it on inside out. That will come all the way up to there, ladies and gentlemen. That's forming the pouch. But all you've got to remember is shiny side out, yeah? Shiny side out, inside out, and then you're going to have to pull it through. Last final check, do I need or do I want to put anything on the outside here? Sometimes you can have another little loop on here, you know, just to secure it like soldiers used to do, stop it bouncing about. Not needed on this occasion. So that's just the only thing I needed to do with the back, was make sure I got my belt loop on and the Velcro on the front. Everything else can be put on later on. So I'm going to go and actually form the pouch now and sew it up. Right, ladies and gents, as you can see, there's the back bit. That's where the belt loop is, just to orientate you. And again, I've sewn down the side, I sewed down the bottom, measurement I left about that much all the way round. I've trimmed that off, okay, leaving that on the bottom, and then sewn down this side again, both so they hit that marker there, okay. So that's sewn down there, across the bottom and up the side. Once I've done that and I was happy with the fit and that, I then done the zigzag stitch. So there's 2 rows of stitching there, both independent of each other, along the bottom and along the top. So if one does give, I'm only a normal sewer, I've only got a semi-industrial machine, not one of these things that makes Bergens or army kit. But there we go, ladies and gents, and you can see why now you sew it up inside out, i.e. shiny side, even before. Don't worry, I've done that where the belt loop's been on this side and I've not realised it until I've done it. But always remember, inside out, shiny side. So on that, ladies and gents, I'm going to reach in there, grab the bottom and pull it through. And before that, all I've done, because I'm not going to get back inside the pouch again, was tidy up my cottons with a little big lighter and make sure all my edges were nice and properly. Smarten them up a little bit, okay. Okay, so ladies and gents, there we can see the pouch, okay. You see this line here where I've joined it, I will, like I've done there, just nip that right close to the edge, as you can see that I'm doing there, and sew that down there. Once I'm doing that, okay, and it's the same with all other pouches, I will just turn that over, and then when I get to about there, just start to form the actual flap. This will be the flap put roughly across there, okay. I'll show you that in more detail, but ladies and gents, and obviously that will help hold it out. There you go. And again, the water bottle's bigger than that. There's the old flask that we all know and love, the old Webtex ones. Nice to sort of go in there. And I'll show you now. That's why, because it's definitely going to have a water bottle going in it. I use Velcro this time. I've put a piece of 25mm wide webbing in there before now, just so that thing just supports itself, and you can see that now. So that may be why, well, it's more understandable now why I sewed a stiffness strip underneath there. But yeah, I'm going to sew down there, down the bottom, down the back, and then start forming the top. And as you can see where your markings are almost spot on, and then just drag that in a little bit, drag that in there a little bit, fold it over, sew some Velcro on it, and job done. Okay, a bit of a pain to do, but and this isn't the first. You know, try out the flat pouches. I've just done a foam pouch, and I'll probably be uploading that one. Well, it's actually a foam concealment pouch, but there's a nice little pouch for my good buddy to carry his. And you can see it's not, you know, when you're looking at it now, the pouch looks very big, doesn't it? But you can see that's thing around here. See what I'm gonna, that's how wide the pouch is, and you can see that. See if I can get the blue bit on there. No, it's 4mm wider. And as you can see, if you put that in the middle, a couple of millimetres bigger on the deepness. So the pouch can, the water bottle will go in and out easy, if that makes sense. And because it is a water bottle pouch, he's my best buddy, I'm going to use some of this to make a slip-in little sponge. Just give these, obviously that's the bit that's going to be against his body because that's the belt loop, but one that can slip in and out. So obviously I'm going to do that for me good buddy. So I'll bring you back once I've done the top and the front. Right, ladies and gents, I've sewed down one side of the lid now, and I just thought I'd bring that in to show you. Obviously you're going to have it wider than it needs to be to allow for that turnover. I've done one side, and I'll just show you what I've done there. There's a little mark there, that's where that part will come to there, so that's the distance, i.e. that's the lid. I've got a ciggy in my hand. That's the lid, and that's how it's going to go. Can't pull it about too much. So that's, I've just sewn it to there, but from there I brought it inwards, okay, just to make it a little neater. So again, we can see how I've narrowed that in. That's to where, that's the top of the lid across there, and then that's the flap, and all I've done is brought that in. I will now do exactly the same with the other side. Take it all the way down there so it's, you know, perpendicular, and then from about there I'll fold it over and just bring that corner in like I've done that, and that'll give you a nice sort of shape at the end. And obviously with that you're going to fold that over once you've done both sides. So I'll bring you back when I've done that, and I'm going to put the Velcro on here to match up to that part, and that's not too hard to do because you just turn it over, pull it tight, and then mark it where it needs to be. And again, if you need to know where the middle of that is, just put both bits together and mark it there, ladies and gents. Right, ladies and gents, pouch for all intents and purposes finished. Here we see there's the original box, okay, and you can just see that just drops in there, nice little bit of a clearance. So the water bottle, which is a lot bigger than this and a lot wider, goes in and out without too much hassle. And you'll see it's why the old tightwad thickened or strapped up the old top there, you know, with a bit of Velcro inside there. So there you go, Martin, big fella. It needed to be a little bit deeper. That goes in there. Back to I do that. Here is your pouch for your sterilising water bottle. You know, the water filter hanging on your pouch there, mate. It looks sort of well, sort of decent because you're going to be wearing it, you know, in and around work, mate, and you can fill up at any water point you like, because I know you just like to know you're drinking fresh water. And that's a job done there, mate. Don't ever, obviously, this is for Martin the big fella, he come along and bought it and he went, oh, he's got a cracking price on it, he haggled with the geezer, got some free filters and that. Then went, oh, it's a bloody shame, you know, in his Irish blarney, saying there's not a punch for it because I don't like to carry it about in my trouser pocket. I looked at it and I thought, well, you great big galah, a Cockney trap that can sew up, mate. So there you are, mate. I know you was quite impressed with the water bottle, and that pouch will certainly get the job done, mate. All we've got to do is rub a few chalk marks off and a few other bits and bobs there, mate. But ladies and gents, there we go, how to make a square pouch. Now I'll leave that there so you can see. You can put a buckle on that if you wanted to do, and the strapping at the bottom. Seen some of my other videos if you just wanted that, or you could do both, to be honest. But Martin wants to be able to get that in and out really quickly while he's moving about from A to B at work. So there you go, that's how I formed a square pouch. The last one you see me uploaded was a Covert iPhone 6 pouch. And as opposed to using padding, I stuck a high quality silver blanket in there. That again will come out at one time use only, as they are, and things get a bit sticky and you actually need it. You'll always have it with you. So ladies and gents, hopefully that's a benefit to you. The old tight rod, what can I say, there ain't one made for it, and that one's been purpose made, and obviously Martin, the old big fella's always shooting me stuff, so a pleasure to do it for you there, Martin. Got another few bits to do, a Laplander, a silky saw pouch and a few other bits, and another water bottle pouch, but this one's quite a unique water bottle pouch, so I'm going to do that as another film, because it's almost making a small satchel. Take care. I'll tell you what I will do, I'll just take you outside and show you that very smooth lightweight tank, because it's been raining and it ain't let a drop of water in. So hang fire, ladies and gents. Well, ladies and gents, there we go, the tent's been up 5 days now, and just a bit of a lash down of water there. Not having so far a single problem with this extremely lightweight, fit in your top pocket tent. Just a short interim update there, water just rolls off it, not having a single problem. The wind, yeah, it's been a bit windy, but we know with the acute angles the wind's just going to come straight over that. I don't envisage any problems with wind on that design and shape of tent. But yeah, obviously not just one rain shower and we call it we whistle Dixie on it. Let's keep it out there for a few days. I've got something inside. I haven't got no shoes on, so I'm not going to be going on the wet grass and opening it up. But yeah, it's got no problems holding off the water and the wind so far, and I'm loving it. Take care.